Greetings and salutations, my artsy friends. How is everyone today? So good, I hope. So good. Hi, Keels. I had this idea. Let's see if you're game. My idea was, since our artist study in our newsletter was Cy Twombly. He was his birthday was Saturday. I thought we would play around with his art style a bit, and I tried to post a picture of one of his lesser works, which was more sculptural. And he was a painter and a sculptor and a photographer. But he was also really renowned for his asemic writing influence. He and Kandinsky were kind of big into that. And so I thought it would be a cool thing to kind of combine. Let's create a page in our art journal, being influenced by him, but also playing with our May calendar art, our Year in Bloom calendar art. If you're brand new here, if you would like, follow, subscribe, share, comment, all the things on all the social media platforms I'm on, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and then ask to join our private Facebook groups, Stitch Along with Anne and Corbiere-Scott Designs Facebook group. So here we go. So here's what I've been kind of cooking up in my head. I want to feel like maybe this. So I was kind of thinking. I printed this just on copy paper, and at first I was going to use art crayons, and I still might to a degree. I did on copy paper because it's thin on thin lays nicer. But let's kind of figure that part out later. But I wanted to fill the background in with asemic writing, and then have these flowers growing out of the bottom of the page. I really did have a big fat plan for this page. So I don't know exactly what I want to play with my asemic writing just yet. And so I'm going to pull this aside. Good morning, Peg. I know Peg loves Cy Twombly. So I was thinking, I do have a thing of water and a paintbrush that I could like just, hey Sue, how are you? So I was thinking, I just want these super colorful, and then I don't know. Let's kind of see where life takes us, shall we? So I think I'm going to paint off of the stems. Let's see what else we got. Everything I've done so far is blues and purples, hasn't it? But what if, like we did, let's do 2 greens for the stems. So I have my Neo 2s, which I love, but I also have my woodies. Kind of love these. And I have these. These are the. No, wait a second. Those are the ones from Caran d'Ache, the Neo 2s. But I also have Staedtler art crayons. I got these a really long time ago at an art store that was in San Francisco a long time ago. Good morning, Lisa Chestnut Maxwell. How are you this morning? Anyway, I got these at an art store in San Francisco. I don't think it's there anymore. It was called Flax, Flax. Oh my gosh. I used to go there when I was broke as a joke, and I would buy like one little thing for myself, just because way back when we lived there in the early 90s. Well, 1990 to be exact. Anyway, I have all these pretty colors. I have a couple of these woodies that are dual colors. Shut up. How cute are those? I don't know what I'm going to do, but something cute. So let's, I think I'm going to start with this pink woody, and I'm just going to color. I still like the idea of blending colors throughout these long skinny petals. I think that's kind of a cool idea. So I think that's what I'm going to play with. Like, here's the thing. This style is so un-Twombly-like. His style was very loose, and they say he was freely scribbled and calligraphic, so in calligraphy form, and graffiti-like. But it was, oh my gosh, you just really need to do a deep dive on him. He was just something else. So I just want to get some color on each of these petals. Just a little bit on these ones. And I think I want to add some orange and yellow to the pink ones. I feel like that might be something fun. And I'm just overlapping color. When you overlap it, you kind of start the blending process before you start to blend. Does that make sense? You kind of give yourself a little bit of a head start. And for this one, I really want to play with the straight to paper blending that I'm doing right now, with a little bit of water. Not much though. Kind of. All right. I hope that you pulled out your art crayons. And hey, Joni. Joni's a whiz with her art crayons. We do love an art crayon, don't we, Joni? Because it's so versatile. You could use it as a crayon. You can use it as a watercolor, wet on dry. And you could use it wet on wet. You could do it a million zillion different ways. I love that. Okay, let's come in with some yellow on the tips of these petals. And I'm just loosely adding color to these petals. So, Cy Twombly, he and Wasili were kind of the are often cited for their asemic approaches to art. And if you look at a lot of Cy Twombly, he's very into adding that like wordless abstract mark making to his work, but always on a solid field. And he did large scale works mostly. Okay, shut it. I'm kind of loving that. So let's see. Oh, everybody take a drink, shall we? Good morning, Patricia Olson. I'm feeling like I could add a little bit of water. So I dipped my brush and I'm tapping it off. And I just want to loosely blend. And I'm just going to start with the yellow because it's the lightest. Let's just start and pull that yellow down into the other. I'm noticing areas that need a little bit more pink. And with all of these, I'm not putting any pressure on my finger. So I'm still pondering what I want to put in my background. I have this idea in my head that I wanted the flowers to just lay on a field of words. So I kind of have an idea. There we go. Oh, it doesn't look like any orange got in here. So let's see what we can do about that. If we can. Shall we wait until the wet is dry and then add some orange? Shall we try to add here's another art crayon technique. So we're going to take our wet brush and we're just going to get some paint from, I told you, these are called Woody's 3-in-1s because you can use them in so many applications. Right? Just pull some paint off the end. Ooh, that's pretty. There we go. That blend is pretty nice, I have to say. Macy is being so loud upstairs. I can hear her. Oh, that crazy dog. I can hear her jumping off our bed and throwing toys on the floor, jumping back on the bed, throwing toys, back, forth, back, forth. There we go. That's making me all kinds of happy. Kind of a loose blend, but it's so effective. So effective. Like it's looking just how I wanted it in my head. I'm thinking about, what do you think of this idea? I'm thinking about, since the sentiment on this calendar artwork is bloom and grow, I'm thinking about doing bloom and grow, but asemically in the background. I think that might be kind of cool. There we go. There we go. That one's a little blendier. But I kind of like the crayon marks, so I think I want to leave it and see if I can fiddle with that a little bit more. See if I can fiddle with the idea of like the texture that comes from the crayon. So I'm going to let that dry all the way and move on to another one. Let's see. Let's go with one of these blendy, these two-colored woodies. So let's see. If I do the darkest color at the base, right? I'm just going to loosely get some color down. There we go. Little by little by little. And now just turn my crayon and get that pretty kind of aqua teal kind of going. Look at that. So pretty, isn't it? These are kind of fun because it's all in one tool, in one crayon. So I can just turn the bead around. No, I'm kidding. I was listening to disco music yesterday in the car. Uncle Andy has been moved to a rehab facility, a skilled nursing place, and so I am still in my car, more than I ever am. A tank of gas could last me like 3 weeks. I never go anywhere, but now I do. So, so I have different things I listen to in the car. Sometimes I listen to 70s on 7 on Sirius. And yesterday, I listened to some disco music, and then I listened to Mel Robbins. Anybody listen to her? She is really something. I really, I think I want to bring a little bit more of the dark up. I really, oh, there we go. There we go. I really like listening to her, kind of a easy to absorb approach to self-care. Do you know what I mean? Like it's not too, it's not over my head. I never feel intimidated by what she's talking about. Anyway, yesterday she was talking to this Dr. something Harris. It was a hyphenated name, and now I don't remember the last part of the hyphenated name. Darn it. Burke Harris, maybe? I think maybe that's it. Anyway, she was talking about if when you get stressed out, you lash out at people, or if you're just feeling a little out of control and when you feel dysregulated is the word she used, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's such a good word. Anyway, she talked about how it's possible that it stems from childhood trauma that we might not even know. And this childhood trauma can manifest itself in so many ways. It can, and the thing is that they say, or Dr. Burke Harris Burke, that makes me feel just ashamed of myself that I didn't remember her names, because I think names are so important. Anyway, she talked about how even if you don't remember it, your body remembers it. Your body remembers being startled or uncomfortable or, oh my God, it was just a fascinating discussion. I do love a podcast, I have to say. Like, I like to listen to those. I like to listen to the Kelsey brothers because they're just entertaining. I like to listen to Amy Poehler. I haven't listened to a true crime one yet. Those kind of freak me out because it's real. I like to listen to the pretend stories. Although I do like to listen to, like, way before podcasts became a thing, there was this show on, hi Janet Boyd, stop in and say hello. There was this show on NPR called The Moth. It's been around forever. Anyway, where just regular people stand up and tell their stories. And sometimes they're amusing stories, sometimes they're poignant, sometimes it's just all over the place. But they're just really fascinating stories. Anyway, oh, I love this flower, you guys. This one's making me so happy. Like the blend of those colors, so pretty. And you know, this is all going to have to be fussy cut. I don't mind a fussy cut. I just turn on a TV show and fussy cut the day away. I love that. But you know what? For this one, I'm feeling like I want to do kind of a vermilion. There we go. There's vermilion. What's this one? Flame red. I'm kind of digging that. And then maybe an orange. What do we think of that idea? Or maybe we just do kind of a blend. So we just put some of this orange, and I think this is the Caran d'Ache. Get some of this down first. So anyway, give that, it's her latest, Mel Robbins' latest episode. Give it a listen and then let's talk about it. I would love to like discuss it with somebody. I thought it was very interesting. I wonder if I put a little bit of yellow in there too, maybe. This is the Staedtler, and I'll just tell you about the Staedtler. Their crayon is harder. It's not as creamy as Caran d'Ache or certainly Woody's. Woody's are the softest, I think, by far. So I'm just blending colors straight to paper, and then I'll bring in a little bit of water too. See what happens. There we go. So I took my uncle a coloring book and 50 Crayola crayons. Crayola markers, I should say. This isn't quite as vermilion as I wanted, but that's all right. He loves to color too, so that was perfect. He just dove right in. But I need to find him a box for all of his markers because they were kind of rolling everywhere. Because that box is a little, well, it's a design flaw, I think. You can't really get the markers back in the place of those little grooves that they make in the plastic pieces. Anyway, I'm going to put just a little bit more of this vermilion. I don't want it to look like exactly like this, so I want to deepen the color in this one, I think. So I need to go to the store and get some kind of a marker box before I go back tomorrow. That's an easy fix. Okay. Now let's blendy blend, shall we? Don't you love listening to her, Sarah? I was just reading about you and your daughter this morning on Facebook. Okay, now let's add a little water, shall we? Yeah, look at that. That's awful pretty, isn't it? And that's more vermilion looking. So if you look at some of Cy Twombly's work, the field that he usually paints on or begins his, his gestural asemic strokes to in a color, but on a base of like gray or tan. It's kind of interesting. His work is quite emotional, I think. There we go. I never, you know what's so funny? I was thinking about when I was listening to disco music yesterday, because it just hypes you up, doesn't it? I was thinking about how people just hated disco music. I kind of liked it. But I kind of liked everything, you know? I think people are just looking for something to crab about sometimes. Oh, look at that. So pretty. Everybody take a drink. Oh my gosh. I was also listening to another, I think this one was this? I don't remember who the interviewer was. Maybe it was also Mel. I don't remember now. But whoever it was interviewing someone named Diego Perez, and he has written a book. And part of his book, I believe, now don't quote me on this, but I believe the premise of his book is like just ways to improve your life. Like little ways to improve your life. It was Mel. Anyway, so here's the first one. Little ways to, like little habits to improve your life. Are you ready? Be grateful for the little things. That, we all know that. We don't always practice it, but we know it, right? I mean, that's not a new concept. And don't you think that's what most of this stuff is? We just need a reminder sometimes, you know? I think I'm going to do the blend of greens also for these stems. I printed this off also on cardstock, because on Thursday I feel like I want to make a postcard or a card front or something out of these same flowers. And maybe we play with these same concepts on Thursday. Right? That's how we get better, is we just keep practicing. Okay. So now let's fiddle around with, let's do some purples, shall we? I love this periwinkle-y color. I don't know if they call it periwinkle. Yes, periwinkle blue. And this is indigo, which I think might be kind of a fun combo. What is this one? This is mauve. That's like a red violet. Let's see what else we have. We have a in-between, or if we should just blend these two. Let's do that. Shall we? Just get some color down. So, be grateful for the little things. I hope that I show gratitude for the little things in my life. Sometimes, some people are just haters about whatever. I know, this is so funny. I was just observing someone who I had I knew a while ago, and then I was recently reunited with that person at a social gathering, and they're so negative. And I thought, oh my gosh, I remember that was, look at this blue is almost like a black. Oh, kind of digging that. I remember what a negative influence they were. You know, when you're around a negative person, you start to, like, if you're around them enough, you start to be going, yeah, life does suck. I hate that feeling. I hate it. So I know that I have to kind of, okay, let's see what we can do to blend that just a little bit more. I have to limit my time with people like that. Because before you know it, you're like, the world is terrible. Ta-da. These flowers, this little garden is so pretty. My allergy pill is not working this morning, you guys. That's all pretty. Ooh, look at that blue is coming out. Look at that. Oh, that Jiggy Jaggy blend is working its magic. Oh my gosh, I think this is going to be such a cool piece. Remember we talked about a while ago, like your art journal is where you work things out artistically. Do you know what I mean? Like you work out an idea. So maybe we work this out as an idea and then we do this technique on something else. Do you know what I mean? The idea of laying this art piece on top of a piece of asemic lettering, but working the technique, the blendy technique on this first, right? Let's get that darker down there. So just use your, your art journal doesn't have to be masterpieces. It's a bunch of ideas, I thought I had kind of a more olivey green that I wanted to use. What is this? Raw umber, not olivey green. Here we go. What's this? This says gold. Let's see what we got. Oh, that's pretty. And that's kind of exactly what I wanted it to be. So let's just do this randomly like we did the lighter green. There we go. Little by little. Build, 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 build. But I think I might try and come in with something else. Do you know what I mean? Like something a little... a little bit deeper, maybe. Maybe. Let's see what we got going. Oh, that's pretty. Now I gotta come up with something for this page, or for this flower. Something different. You know what I'm thinking? Like just a pink flower. With just a minimal blendiness. Let's see what we got. Raspberry red. No. I think I want like a deep pink, like a bright pink. Ooh, what do we have? This says purple, but I think it looks pink. Let's see what we got. That pink, and that pink, and that pink. I thought I had like a fuchsia. That purple kind of looks fuchsia to me. All right, let's just start with that, shall we? What was this one? Raspberry red. Let's see what it is. Yep, that's what I want. Okay, so let's start with this. What is this? Purple. Let's start with that in the center. Doesn't that look more pink than purple to you? Like red violet, I think. There we go. Let's see what we got. That's too light, I think. Those are both too light. That is rose, and that is salmon red. Let's just go in with this, the woody. I made that bookmark earlier this week. Make sure you open your newsletters, guys. There's lots of artwork in there and a special invitation to my Michigan Artist Retreat, which, oh my gosh, you guys, you're gonna flip out. You're gonna flip out, flip out, flip out. Okay, let's kind of start blending that and see what we got. Oh, the second habit is noticing when your nervous system is overwhelmed and responding by saying no to anything new that would consume your energy. Holy tamale. That's stinking true, isn't it? And sometimes it happens and you don't even know it, or you feel like you're on this train that is going so fast and you can't stop it. But we do have the power to stop it. And that's where the interview, the techniques that they were talking about in that Mel Robbins interview were so good, because it talked about things that you can do to, and she calls them buffers, that you can do to combat those stressors. And they were simple, you guys. They were so simple. They were like, go for a walk. Spend some time in nature. Like the more she alluded to a teeter-totter. And she talked about how if you... Now, I don't remember all the big words that she used, but I can tell you kind of the gist of what she was talking about. She talked about how if you had some major trauma in your life, or multiple traumas, she talked about how, so your trauma, so a teeter-totter is normally like this, right? Pretty equal distance, right? And so this is the trauma, And I spelled that wrong. Ugh, you know what I mean. And this is the buffers. But if you have multiple buffers, this part, the stable part, might be way here, right? So you need way more buffers to counter, wait, the other way. If you have, then you need way more buffers to counterbalance the trauma. It was just fascinating. It was so fascinating. I just, give it a listen if you can. And that we all have some kind of trauma, right? We all have something that was a traumatic event in our, and she talks about that most of it is from childhood, and some of it we don't even remember. Sometimes we might, you know. What is that? What's gold? What was the other green I was going to use, you guys? Oh, this is a metallic. That's the gold. That's what I put in there. Good morning, Deb. Let's get a little bit. What is this? This is moss green. Let's get just a little bit of moss green in our places where we know it's going to be a little bit deeper in color, where things are overlapping. There we go. And then we'll blend this out too. All right. Da, 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 da. Now let's start to blend, 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 shall we? Okay. And then I think we can work on our asemic writing. This came together pretty quickly, didn't it? You know, I was just thinking, so I was talking about, I just did that bookmark for independent bookstore days. And I didn't get to do any of that. I was with my uncle for a major part of the day. And then I had a surprise birthday party to go to for our Joni. Oh my gosh, it was the best party. It was the best party, celebrating one of my favorite girls in the world, Joni. And she was the star of the show, and we loved that. And we had delightful food and 2 kinds of birthday cake. So I'm overshooting this because it's all going to be fussy cut anyway, right? And it's okay for color to overflow, right? Oh, I like that I put a little bit of that gold in there, because that just kind of gives it like a little bit of shimmer, unexpected shimmer. Do you know what I mean? Because the rest of these crayons are not shimmery. There we go. All right. So let's set that aside to dry, shall we? And then let's pull our art journal in. And I'm thinking that I want, like I said, I want to use the words bloom and grow. And I was thinking about, doing it in pencil, because remember we did pencil on the Pink Moon page, and I kind of dig the pencil with that. But then I was thinking, just because I like that smeary look of graphite, you know. But now I'm thinking maybe I will do some micron pen. Everybody take a drink. I don't know, maybe I'll end up doing both. Who knows? I do have... Well, you know what? Let's use this. So I got this when I was at a stationery store in Albuquerque. It's just called a handwriting pen, and it's by Manuscript. Never heard of that, but it's blue. I think I got two. I think I got a blue one and a black one. But I also, you guys, I also got this. Look at this pen by Stabilo, and it's a 68. Those are the, look at, do you see it has kind of a, let's use that. I think that might be more, I don't know. Just pull out those pens. I know you have just as many pens as me, or at least you have a lot. Pull out a pen. We're just doing some asemic writing in the background, right? So we're going to do bloom and grow, bloom. Oh, this is a felt tip. And grow, bloom, and grow, bloom, and grow. And this is just kind of fun because it's, and I'm doing it more bloom and bloom, and grow. Mine is kind of legible. It doesn't always have to be. It can be as scribbly as you want. And remember we did a few weeks ago, we did stacked. Stacked journaling. Oh, I'm loving this. I'm feeling like I want to incorporate a little bit of that in here. I want a little bit of that stacked journaling. See what I... see what I can do with that. So I'm already starting to think about other colors that I can bring into this, right? So that it's not just this stark lettering on this white page. I mean, it's a grid page, but it's stark. So what if... and I want to fill the whole page because I want it to peek through the flower stems. So start to think about it. Like the color, not necessarily the lettering. Does that make sense? Think about we're building color pattern. So what can we do with that? So I'm already thinking of and remember, the higher up you hold your pen, the looser your letters are. The looser that your lines are, I should say. I mean, and there's all kinds of asemic writing. Like this is a very loose interpretation of it because you can read my words to a degree. Okay, so I finished that, and now I'm feeling like I want to do something more. Something, I want to add more color, more, I don't know, more something. So, what if we come in, I have this is that gold. I kind of keep being drawn to that. Here, this is olive. What if we just did some mark making? Do you know what I mean? Do we fill the whole thing? Do we just do it random? I don't know. And do we wet this? Do we leave it just crayon? Do we leave it just the rough textured markings of the crayon next to the smooth lines of the marker? Do you know what I mean? Like there's a lot to ponder. Because we don't want it to take away from the flowers. We just want it to be this lovely bed for the flowers to lay on, you know? I kind of like the idea of just random mark making. And there's something about just mark making like this that is so like almost therapeutic. Do you know what I mean? There's something about just making marks on the page. You start to, like the lettering starts to fade to the background, and I'm kind of digging that. Just random mark making. Okay, kind of digging that. Maybe a little bit more up here. Okay. Okay. Now, how are we doing on time, by the way? Shoot, we're already at 10. Okay, so I'm going to continue to work on this. I hope you will continue to work on yours. I'm so sorry, you guys. And then I will fussy cut these and lay them down. And like I'm feeling like I want to have them coming out of the ground, which is the base of the page. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm fiddling with it. I hope you fiddle with yours too. Oh, and the last thing is the last of the 3 habits is don't hide your love. Let your friends and family know how much you care about them. I adore you all, everyone. And I will, hey, Diana, watch this. Diane, watch this on the replay. I adore you all, and I will see you tomorrow in Stitch Along. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.